What's up, guys? Welcome back to Project Time Garage. The air conditioner in our F250 isn't doing real well. It's cooling. The air coming out of the vents is really cold. There's just not a lot of air coming out of the vents. And I'm sure I know what it is. I think it's right there. That's the evaporator core. I think the evaporator core is plugged up on the thing. You see, this truck, like a whole lot of other trucks this age, spend a lot of time outdoors. There's no cabin filter on them. So all the dust and dirt and animal hair and whatever else, it's free to just be sucked up in there and stick against the front of that evap core. So we're gonna try to clean that. But here's the thing. There's a procedure where you can remove this whole plastic doghouse assembly and actually lift the evap core, which is basically right there is the top of the evap core. You can actually lift the evap core up and be able to access it and clean it. But I'm gonna attempt to not do that, because I know for a fact that when I pull this blower motor out, I can actually see the bottom of the evap core down there at the bottom. And I'm gonna see if I can figure out some way to finagle something up there to kind of either air hose it out or spray it out or something. Also, while we're here, we're gonna do the heater core bypass mod. Let me show you what that consists of. Basically, right back there, behind the dipstick tube, way down in the land of the lost, are the two heater hoses. And those are the hoses that run to the heater core. Basically, the mod consists of installing a heater core cutoff, because evidently there's always circulation through the heater core, always hot water circulating through there, and people are saying that this really helps, you know, bring down the cold air temperatures. We'll see. Let me show you what we're using in order to make this mod, in case you want to do it too. This is what we have. It's a Ford Motorcraft, what do they even call this thing? Valve. They call it a valve. Heater control valve assembly. There's your part number, YG-350. Also, I'm going to put an Amazon link down there for where I bought this one. I chose to buy a Motorcraft specific part, although I don't think it makes any difference. I see people doing this mod all the time with all kinds of different diverter valves. I think a lot of different manufacturers make this valve, and I really don't think it matters which one you buy. I guess what I'm saying is, I usually like to buy Motorcraft genuine stuff when I'm working on these, but that's for critical parts. I'm not such a stickler about that kind of stuff personally for, you know, accessory type stuff and the like. It's just it's convenience at this point. So anyway, Amazon link down below for that. Show you how it works. This is the inlet side, this is the outlet side, and as long as there's no vacuum applied to this thing, it'll just pass water straight through. So basically, we're just gonna cut our heater hoses, we're gonna feed them in this side, they'll go out this side to the heater core. And then basically what happens is, when we apply vacuum to this pot, it diverts water that's coming in this side and puts it right back out this side. So it just basically makes a U-turn with it, shutting off the flow of water out to the heater core. And that's good because it keeps our heater core out there nice and cool, and it doesn't contribute any ambient heat to what you're trying to cool down, basically. So we've got to find a vacuum source, and most of the time, from what I'm seeing, everybody is using like the vacuum pot for the max AC canister, and I'll show you that here in a few minutes. They're basically just teeing into it, so when you turn the truck to max AC, that vacuum source also goes here and closes this valve off, making your max AC really max AC. Well, now we know what we're gonna do, and since this project's not gonna do itself, I guess we may as well do it. Let's get started. Also, right down here is my icon. Click on that, subscribe to my channel. You definitely want to subscribe, because doing so, it might make you dance more like Uma Thurman. Never know. On with the show. I'm going to start with taking this charge air pipe out of my way, just to gain a little bit of room. Should be an 11 millimeter. I'm going to take it off on this side so that when I put it back, I'm not crushing it down on aluminum. It's more sturdy over here, so I usually take them loose on this side. Now it's just a matter of forcing it loose. Also, I'm going to go ahead and take off this bracketry here. And let's go and get our trans dipstick out of the way, just so we don't accidentally screw that up, break it. All right, there's that one. And it's just a matter of snaking it out. And you will always lose the van clamp, it seems. So be ready for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut one of them at a time, and I'm going to try and put my valve back here toward the back somewhere. So we're going to put a couple of clamps on them, just so I don't lose a whole lot of coolant in this process. All right, there we go. That should have those pinched off. Just a matter of cutting them now. For that, we're just going to use a pair of electrician's snips. We'll get a little bit of water out of there, but hopefully not too much. There we go. Hose clamp on. Let's try to orient the hose clamp in such a way that we can actually get back to it later in life. There's one. That one. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get the charge air pipe put back on it, and we'll get ready to come back and do the vacuum hose. So you can see where I stuck that back there, that valve. It just basically gets in between the two heater hoses, and you can see the vacuum canister up there on the top. We haven't plugged that in yet. That's the next step. To hook up the diverter valve, we're going to actually hook it up to, see that vacuum canister right there, that silver one. I'm going to unplug this line. You hear that door close. This white vacuum line, it goes from the max AC setting on your air conditioner. So when you turn your air conditioner over to max AC, this thing gets vacuum. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put a T right there, and we're going to plug this onto one side, and the other side we're going to run out there to our new diverter valve we just added. What that's going to do is anytime we turn it on max AC, we're going to create vacuum here, opening this door, which actuates this and also provides vacuum to go out there and close that valve so that we turn off the flow to our heater core. So let's get that done. We're also going to get our glove box out of the way, because our access hole that we're going to use in the firewall to get our vacuum tube through is behind here. To do that, open it, squeeze both sides, and it just kind of drops down. And there you are. Well, let me see if I can show you what we have going on here. Right up there, you'll see a metal thing, right there. I'm touching it with the end of my socket, my extension. That is just a little piece of metal rod that I found laying around, and I've ran it through the firewall. I'm going to try to show you, let me push it on through a little bit more and try to show you where it comes through. If you go all the way to the top here, you'll see it goes in right beside that shiny metal tube. Well, that's one of the heater core tubes. Let's go outside and let me show you where that is under the truck. I mean under the hood. It's not under the truck. I don't want to be under the truck today. See right there? That's where it's coming in. Right beside that heater hose. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to tape my little piece of vacuum line to it, and I'm going to pull it back through. So hold tight. Now that we have it through the firewall, we're just going to plug it into the valve there. All right, go inside and pull the slat through. Okay, I just kind of dropped it down the dash there. Let's put our glove box back in place. And then under here, we really just need to be able to connect these two lines together. So we'll take our T and we'll go one side into the T, the other side into the T. We'll take a short piece of excess and hook up to this door. And then hook up to our T. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It's just a matter now of putting this stuff up so it doesn't get stepped on. So I'll get a zip tie or a couple of zip ties and very gently zip tie these. You don't want to zip tie them too tight because you'll crush them and they won't be able to vacuum anymore. Also, while we're back here, I noticed that I have just a ton of air blowing out the sides of this cover here. This is the cover for the heater core, and whenever my fan is on high, I'm losing a whole lot of pressure to, I guess, just bad seals. So why don't we pull this out and let's see about maybe resealing this and making it a little more airtight. Looks pretty easy. There's appears to be just screwed here, screw here, screw here, one over here, one right here, and there are two more down there at the bottom that you can get to from under the dash really easily. After that, this cover just pops off. So let's pull that off and we'll reseal that also. Because let's face it, man, every little bit helps as far as this air conditioning goes. So I'm going to squeeze every drop of air out of this thing that I possibly can. I've already loosened most of these up for demonstration purposes. Okay, this whole flap here will just pop out. It'll actually fit out this way. You can see around the edge here where the factory had some kind of that's almost like butyl or silicone or something. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all this stuff off, get it prepped up. Then I found some of this laying around. It's just rubber weather stripping, and I assume maybe that'll at least do something for me. So we're going to try that. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, that's everything up there. Pretty well sealed up. Oh, I forgot my light. Okay, with that heater core cover sealed up and our diverter valve installed, let's go ahead and get the fan out and see if we can clean up this evap core. That'll be our final thing, and we can see how much better it is or if we've done anything at all. So let's get to that. So the idea here is going to be to take this fan motor out and just look down there and just kind of observe. Let's see how much of this evap core that we can even get to. And that is tightening. Vacuum pump is in my way, so we'll just move that out. Fan. Ooh. Wow. Cool. You want to see? Let me show you. There you go. That's what's in there. So we're just going to try to stick a garden hose up there and an air hose up there and just start trying to clean it out some. Okay, let me show you what I've done here. This is my air nozzle. I basically put a barb on the end of it and put a big long hose, rubber hose on it. A rubber hose that fits extremely tight on the end of it so it doesn't blow off. So now I can feed this thing up in there and kind of direct it as I try to clean it off. Let's see how this works out. Well, if nothing else, I'm producing a big pile of junk in here. Look what's coming out. I mean, tons of that kind of stuff right there coming out of here. Hair and all kinds of junk. So I'm gonna do this for a little bit and then I'm gonna back the truck outside. I'm gonna take the garden hose and try to reach up there and kind of spray that thing out. Okay, we've made a scientific advancement here. I've actually taken a piece of brake tubing and cut it and shoved it down into the end of my hose. And the reason why is once I feed that hose way up in there on top of the evap core, I can't bend it over. I want to blow straight through the evap core, like if you're the evap core, something like that. While I was in here, I went ahead and sprayed some water with pine sol up in there, all over that evap core as much as I could, and let that sit for a little bit and work before I started ever cleaning this thing. So hopefully that will give my cabin a pleasant smell. We'll see. Let's put the fan back in it and see if our little fix did anything at all for us. If not, we're gonna have to pull the whole doghouse off. It's fine. Moment of truth. Well, I'll tell you what, this worked. This was probably one of the best things that I've done for this truck since I've owned it, and I'm not even joking. I'm cruising down the road right now at 50 miles an hour. My air conditioner is blowing 39 degrees. 39 degrees. And not only that, it's blowing hard. It's like I don't even have it on high, and that's saying something, because usually when you get in this truck, you kick it on high and you get close to the vents and you hope and you pray that you get some cool air. But this is good. I'll tell you what, if you own one of these trucks, or for that matter, if you own any older truck, especially one that's been out in the dirt and the dust, you may want to try this, because I've got to tell you, it works. It worked beautifully, and it cost, I mean, it cost almost nothing. The cost of the heater valve was all I had in it, basically. Everything else I just had in my stash. So anyway, guys, appreciate you watching this. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. I hope this video helps somebody out. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends about us. We'll see you next time.